Hey everyone. So today I decided to be a bit more proactive than I normally am, where I decide to get up and then mess around on my phone, eat some food, and pretty much wait until my work shift starts. I decided to instead start working a bit on my Brain Jam project. So I guess I could show you some of that right now. So currently, this is for the extra channel. This isn't for my actual channel. Um, Extra is basically the behind the scenes, but I'm drawing this entire aisle, and you can see right there it's the can do aisle. And what this is supposed to be is there's going to be a cartoon version of me walking down this aisle, grabbing different cans, and these cans are labeled different subjects to learn, like perspective, like storytelling, like shading, like values, things like that. Did a half-hour session, and it was mostly just drawing the cans, if I'm being honest with you. But I did get some help online. There's this guy right here, helpful fellow. Where is the name of the channel though? Oh, it's directly from the Krita channel itself. Well, what do you know? That's probably why it was such a good tutorial. Does he say his name? Hold on, I have my headphones on. Maybe he says his name. Raymond Miranda. Raymond Miranda taught me how to use the tool feature on Krita, which is a really cool feature. If you like drawing perspective and you want as accurate of a way to do as possible, this guy right here is your best bet, right in the middle of the frame. And the reason why is when you click this bad boy, as I'm going to do right now, click. Notice these five different things popping up. And what these are is it's actually the grid of each of these. So the grid helps you with defining the exact perspective of the scene. As you can see, my perspective's very wonky. I think it kind of started to improve on my third row of cans, but when I started, clearly I was not paying that close attention. But now I'm starting to see how to do it more accurately by straightening the cans out and just rounding them off at the top while still following the perspective line. So yeah, you can click on one, right? You can adjust the subdivision. See? So you can increase, hold on one second. You can increase the amount of divisions you get here, which is pretty cool, I must admit. And you can even adjust the opacity too. So you can make it as visible or as disapparent as possible. So you can get a better idea of how your scene is looking without the scaffolding, as it were. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I learned all of this from this dude. Really cool guy. Thank you, Raymond Moran. So that was a half-hour session, and I'm glad that I'm starting to take my duties a bit more seriously. I think doing on-the-man documenting will really help be an encouraging pick-me-up to continue going. Right now, I believe I'm gonna go for a little break. I'm gonna give myself 20 minutes to just do whatever I want, and then I may come back to this to probably just draw more cans. I don't think I'll have much to share in another update from this, other than maybe later in the update video, but for now, things are going pretty swell. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello. Now we have jumped forward into the future, specifically to 24 a.m. Why so late in the night and early in the morning? Well, it's because I got caught up watching a Red Letter Media video where Jay Bauman and Rich Evans were talking about their favorite Sam Raimi movies in the last video that that was released on that subject. And then I got into like a rabbit hole that went from like an old YouTube content creator I used to watch all the time, who said he's quitting YouTube and is going into teaching himself animation and storytelling so he can, you know, make his dream come true of being an animation and storyteller. I then was recommended a video, I think it was called like Mystery Island or something. It was like a new trailer for DreamWorks' latest film, being directed by the same people who directed Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And it looked really interesting, really imaginative. I just assumed it was a completely original story that was like just dreamt up by the creators, but apparently the comments suggested that was actually based on a culture, but I'm forgetting what the culture was that they said it was based on. Either way, the film does look really cool, and I'll definitely be checking out when it does come out because I loved Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The director of that film did a fantastic job giving life to the Puss in Boots franchise and making something that had a lot of heart, care, and effort put into it that felt like it had a unique stamp to it that wasn't like just factory movie. Like it felt like something with real soul. I really enjoyed that. So I'm definitely looking forward to this new movie this director's working on. I don't even know the name of the director. Probably should look that up because probably would help, because this director's got a very distinct visual identity and style, which is really cool. I also was like getting deep into the mantis encounters of these beings people say they've seen, like called the mantis beings. Some of them are like abduction stories, some of them are drug experiences. Who's to say they all aren't drug experiences, or maybe some of them are conscious recalls, some of them are through hypnosis. Whatever the case is, it's I was listening to stories about that. Like one person was talking about their abduction story. Sounded like your average alien abduction story, brought on board, examined, brought back, tried to search the truth, couldn't find it, and ultimately just ended up giving up and wondering about what happened. Then the other one was someone like took a substance, had a experience where they met a mantis being and then travel across the universe with it. So yeah, pretty interesting. And then I decided to take my vitamins, brush my teeth, and start recording this video. So I suppose I could work my way backward and go forward. Okay. So before I recorded that video of me working on my project, I woke up. I moved my car out of the way so my mom could go to work. Then I decided to put a timer on my phone for 45 minutes to entertain myself. I saw a Digital Foundry video being recommended to me where it was the Digital Foundry Retro Super Show by John Lennerman, Martha Triforce Duddleson, and this bald guy I'm forgetting the name of. And they talk about their favorite opening levels in gaming. They go through the Final Fantasy VII intro, then John goes through the intro of like a game that like I've never heard of, like an early 90s side-scrolling shooting game. And then the bald guy was talking about like flying through this area, those bullet hell shooters. He was talking about one of those that looked really intense. Pretty interesting. After my timer went off as I was watching that, well, I had the last pinwheel with a cup of coffee while watching that, and some oatmeal. I decided to then spend time myself for 5 minutes to go a transitionary state where I was going to work on my computer, working on my Brain Jam Extra video because I've been neglecting that for far too long. And then, yeah, eventually I was able to set everything up. And once the timer went on, I decided to set for 30 minutes to work on my project. I pretty much spent the time, you know, showing what I showed at the beginning of this video, where I just was learning perspective tools and watching a video of a guy talk about it, and then, trying my best to, draw cans in this can aisle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And the rest of the session could be described simply just drawing cans following the perspective guardrails. Eventually, when my timer went off, I decided to go into the living room, listen to some fun music, and do a little dancing to loosen myself up after sitting in one spot for like half an hour, or really like uh, 75 minutes if we're counting the first 45 minutes of the day. Yeah, it was nice. It was like a 15-minute buffer, and then after that, I poured some coffee. I went back in my room. I continued to doodle, and as I was doodling, I was talking with Google's Gemini about like what you should do after you donate plasma. Since I donated plasma, like it recommended eating food high in iron, like meats, like and chicken and things like that. And yeah, then when I was done with my half hour of just talking with Gemini while drawing, I went out. I met my sister who had gotten up, and then I decided to hang out with her for a while. I uh, showed her this trailer to a movie called Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling. I said, "Yeah, there's this new movie, science fiction, just came out. I don't really know much about it. I just know like it's gotten good reviews. Maybe we could watch it in the theater while it's still out there." And I showed her the trailer, and yeah, we both saw a trailer for the first time. First time I ever saw anything other than a poster for this movie. It looked pretty cool. It was basically talking about like how all the like stars um in the universe are like about to go out, which means that like the Earth is approaching like a form of like death. So Ryan Gosling needs to go on this epic adventure to find the one star that's not burning out, so we can figure out what's going on and somehow save the planet. Um, Looks pretty interesting. I think it's a shame that they revealed like there's going to be alien in the movie, in the trailer. That really should have been something they should have saved, just like a cool surprise for people who were willing enough to go out of the theater to watch it. But I guess they're like, "Ooh, it was something fantastical, alien. We gotta show people this." So they're like, "Oh, I want to see more of the alien." I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like it would have been a cool surprise if they did that instead of like just reveal it. It's the whole Harrison Ford and Blade Runner 2047 problem too. Like clearly, when that film was being made, Denis Villeneuve's intention was to reveal Harrison Ford midway through the picture. He clearly never intended Harrison Ford to be like revealed in any of the advertising or posters, but well, I guess he is a recognizable name. People know who he is, and maybe executives just didn't have faith that people would want to see a new like Blade Runner movie unless Harrison Ford was on the poster, so they slapped him on there. And it didn't really work anyways because the movie ended up, well, not really doing too well at the box office, so that's a shame. Um, but yeah, after we watched the trailer, we thought it looked pretty good. We then moved on to watching this this trailer for Dune Part 3, which is what I presume will be an adaptation of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune combined. I hear Dune Messiah is really short, so you really need to combine Children of Dune and Dune Messiah together to create a more finished feeling story. So yeah, that's what they're doing. It looks really good. We did talk about how I wish they made the film a bit more visually interesting. It's described in the novel that the spice is supposed to be blue, and that made me think, wow, why did they have like blue mists like forming around the desert? Really play into that surreal look and feel of the world. They kind of just made it look like a normal desert. That's kind of lame. And yeah, my sister, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by Google's Gemini. My sister suggested, "Oh yeah, you mean like bioluminescent waves?" And I was like, "What?" So she suggested I look that up on the TV, so I did, and yeah, apparently there was like bioluminescent waves like in the ocean that made like the ocean look glowy when you float in it. So yeah, it's pretty much what I was imagining. Like that would be such a cool visual if like the sandworms were like plowing through the sand and like you saw like the plumes of blue coming out from the normal colored sand. Would have been a really cool visual, but they didn't do that, which I think is a shame, honestly. Um, but moving along, yeah, and then after we're done watching that and hanging out, I went back into my room. Um, I decided to spend additional 15 more minutes on my Brain Jam Extra. Well, 30 minutes actually. Listening to my previous vlog to see how I sounded. While I was doing the putting the cans on the shelves and the drawing. And after that was done, I decided to eat some chicken tenders, and I ended up, well, having some sweet potato with that. Watch a Red Letter Media video where Mike and Jay were talking about what are movies. They're talking about like a horror movie and how they're like it had great production value, and despite all that, it wasn't really being advertised. It's almost as if the executives had it out for all the people involved in the creative industry, and they just don't want to support it anymore. It's a real shame. Yeah, and then my mom showed up. I greeted her. It was time for me to get dressed and ready for work, so I got dressed, ready. I say goodbye to my sister, my mom. I told them I love them. I drove off for work. For work, I had nothing but sweeps all day. Not much to really say. Sweeped produce, break room, store floor, helped customers find what they needed. Sometimes took an order out. Sometimes bagged for the customers. It's very nice and friendly. They had free like breakfast bowl that they were giving out to employees, so I thought I'd get that. I decided to get a Starbucks triple shot espresso can to see what that tasted like. I got some water, and I will say that the breakfast bowl was quite good. It's basically like cheese, potato, onion, sausage, bacon, all in a bowl, and it was really good. Um, the Starbucks triple shot vanilla coffee, not a fan. It tasted too artificial for my liking. Just didn't really like it at all. And the water was water. And then for closing, I took out the trash. I refilled the bags in the front. I wiped down check stands 1, 2, 3, and 4. My coworker helped me with 8, 7, 6, and 5, which I was very grateful for. I brought the carts in, the signs in. I cleared the lot. I closed the produce blinds. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a fun conversation with my co-closer boss, and we were talking about like ancient civilizations, how this may have happened before with like advanced technology, but because of like maybe a cataclysm, natural or man-made, like all evidence of previous like civilized time was wiped out, and maybe we're going through the same cycle again. Who knows? That was pretty cool. I punched out for the day. I said goodbye to my boss. We noticed there was a truck outside that had an open door that looked suspicious. We went to inspect it. Turns out that it was it seemed to be a homeless person who was in there. I guess they live in their truck as their vehicle, and they didn't really show themselves. They kind of stayed concealed in there. It was pretty weird. But it didn't seem like they were harmful either. They were just hanging out in the parking lot. So, yeah, pretty interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I got in my car. I drove home. When I got home, it was really just me. I noticed there was pizza in the fridge. I asked my family friend if that was hers. They said, yeah, but you can have it. I was like, okay. I reheated that on the pan with my moisturizer trick, where I put a little bit of water inside of the pan with a covering, and it warmed it up. And crispified the bottom, but not really too much this time. It was okay. And I had A&W, zero sugar with that. And yeah, I was like watching I was watching when I described at the beginning of the video, you know, Rich and Jay talking about Sam Raimi and all that other stuff. And now I'm here. I am so tired. I will just quickly edit this together, export it. It's probably going to take like 30 minutes to export, so I'm just going to click the export button, go to sleep, and then when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going to post it. But yeah. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night, everybody, and take care.